Hello, stitching friends. It is Amy, the Gable Stitcher, back with stitching update number 14. Thank you for coming by to spend some time with me. If you are a new viewer, thank you very much. I have had a little bump recently in subscribers and viewers, and I really am thankful that you are coming by to spend some time visiting with me. And for everybody who is returning, thanks for coming back. I really enjoy reading every comment, and I try to respond to everyone. I am a little bit behind in responding, but I really enjoy sharing my stitching with everybody and having conversations with people, and I really feel like you're here visiting with me, and that is the great thing about stitching. It brings us all together. So it is Friday, October 4th. Yes, Friday, October 4th, 2019. It has been very busy around here. Not a ton of stitching going on, but some stitching, and I have Phoebe and my fair results to share with you. And I have some stitching plans and a little bit of haul. So with all of that, let's get started. So, whips. I have worked on a few things over the last couple of weeks. The first thing I worked on, showed in my last video. Here's a picture of the pattern. This is Three Pumpkin Ladies. It is by The Little Stitcher, and you can find this on Etsy. And I started this in September. I started this on Friday the 13th because it was a full moon and Friday the 13th, so it called for a little bit of a Halloween spooky start. I have decided The Little Stitcher is what I would call creepy cute, so, and I really kind of like that aesthetic. So I will insert a picture of where I was before on this, and you can see where I am now. So I have done quite a bit. The first Pumpkin Lady is close to done. There are a few more rows of her skirt, probably 8 to 10 more rows. Second Pumpkin Lady is well started. I kind of held off continuing down with the first Pumpkin Lady because their skirts end up meeting up. So I wanted to get to that point together. So this is a really fun stitch. Really enjoying it. This is being stitched on a 46 count Zweigart linen. Forget what the name for for the 46 count is, but it's a little scrap I picked up at Needleworker's Delight. And I am stitching it with a mix of the called for DMCs, and I am substituting in some Victorian Motto flosses that I have as well. So really enjoying that. I can see myself getting more Little Stitcher patterns in the future. She just released a Mary Shelley one that I've been eyeing, but I need to get some more stuff done before I start anything else new. I do have some plans, a few more starts, but I don't need it now, but I do like it. Okay. Next one is 12 Days of Christmas by Satsuma Street. And I'll put a picture in here of what it looked like the last time I did it. And I have a picture of what it will look like when it is complete. This is available at your local needlework shop, 123, or on Satsuma Street's Etsy webpage. There are two versions of this. There is all-in-one, which is what I am doing, or you can do them as ornaments. And I am doing this on a 28 count Monaco, just the one you buy in a tube at Michael's or Joann's. My goal is to have this done by Christmas. I do already have a frame to put it in, so I just need to finish it and stretch it. So here I am now. My goal the past couple of weeks was to finish block number 8. And block number 8 is done. I do need to finish the border of the block, but that's not a big deal. And I started blocking out block number 9. What I do when I block out these blocks, and put it up close so you can see it, whenever I'm stitching a long stretch of stitches for a border, I stitch 9 stitches and I cross my 10th. So that way it lines up with the grid mark on the pattern. Put that close so you can see it. It lines up with the grid marks on the pattern. So that way it's easier to count across. So I can follow the pattern and not make a mistake with placement. And then I just go back across the other 9 stitches. So, put this up here. So this is where I am right now. And I think block number 8 is adorable. The milk is made. The barn, inner buckets, and the smiling cow. So I really am enjoying stitching this. I do curse the color changes a little bit as I'm stitching it, but I really love the results. So my goal in the next couple of weeks is to finish block number 9, which I have not started yet, other than outlining. So 9 is ladies dancing. And that's being stitched with the color for DMC. So really, really colorful. Like it just, I think it comes across bright in the screen, but it's just, in real life, it pops. It really pops. The Satsuma Street patterns, like Jody has such a good sense of color. Colors that I wouldn't necessarily put together, but definitely work together. The third thing I stitched while I was gone is a new start that I wasn't even planning on. So, Lakeside Needlecrafts, it is called Spooky Halloween. So, I saw this in somebody's Flosstube video. I think it was Christine, Every Stitch of Pleasure, had started it. I had seen it in one of her videos, and I really, really liked it. And then Julie, Kansas City girl in Colorado World, and I were chatting, and she asked me if I knew who designed it, because she had seen it on Instagram, and she loved it. And I said, yes, I know exactly where it's from. And I forwarded her the link, and then I said, I think I need to stitch it, because it was like the third time in 2 days I had seen it, and I really, really liked it. So Lakeside Needlecraft is a UK company. They have quite a few patterns available for PDF purchase and download, and this is one of them. So I did that, and I really, really love it. It's just 4 colors. I dyed some Monaco. Let's get back to see if it doesn't wash out too much. I dyed a piece of Monaco. This is the same Monaco that Satsuma Street 12 Days of Christmas is on. Exact same piece of, well, not the exact same piece of fabric, because it's 2 different stitching, but this is white Monaco that I dyed with Rit dye. So did orange dye and then a gray over dye, and picked the spot where I wanted to start with the modeling. And I have been going to town with this. It is a little bit darker than what I'm showing on video. I think it's a little bit better, but it's a little bit darker than what you see, but the colors are pretty true. And this is where I am. So this is a little bit more than the first page. It's about 1/3 of the way across. And I just love this. It is a fun stitch, and I think it just looks really awesome on this fabric. So, yes. I don't know if this will get done this year. This has been my travel project for the last couple of weeks because it's only 4 colors and it's very easy to bring with me, and I can definitely stitch a lot of 310 without futzing with the other colors. So, love it. So that was a new start. And once again, that's available on the Lakeside Needlecrafts website. Second new start is from the Home for the Holidays book. Lynette from Homesteading on the Homefront is hosting a SAL from this group. Last year in 2018, they did a SAL, and a lot of people had done this bird. I did not join in last year. This year I couldn't resist. So I am doing this pattern, Blessings Be Thine. I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to change it. I think I might write Happy Christmas in here. And I think I might put this motif up here as well. But I'll figure it out as I stitch it. So, ironically enough, I was heading back from picking up our fair pieces at the Big E on October 1st, and I had messaged Lynette and said, hey, I'm going to be passing not too far from you. You want to meet up and, have lunch and stitch? And she said yes, which was nice. And I said, oh, it's October 1st. I think I'm going to, bring the Home from the Holidays to start so we can start it together. And that's what we did. So it was fun. We don't live horribly far from each other, but we've actually never met up outside of StitchCon. So it was nice to meet up with her. And we had a really good time. And this is my start. Don't get overly excited about it or blown away by how much I did. I did a leaf. That's it. So this is a 46 count fabric. Once again, it is a Zweigart. It is from Nancy Turner of Victoria Motto. I used to get a fat quarter every month from her, but I have now switched to getting a fat half every other month from her. So her fabric is really nice, guys. I don't know if you can see it, the modeling on it. It's very subtle, but it's really pretty. Her fabric doesn't have any names. It's just always really nice. So I don't even know. Actually, I think this is how it goes. That's how much I did. So because I'm changing it, I usually start in the upper left-hand corner. But because I'm changing it, I wanted to start in the middle because I don't know how I'm going to change it. So it's one of those wreaths. And I am stitching this just with some stash dived fibers. I pulled out some Vicki Clayton silks I have left over from another project, and a few needlepoint silks. Pretty much roughly the same colors. I'm not going to bother showing them in detail because you can't get them. Her silks are no longer available, but I do still have some, and so I have been stitching with what I have. So that is it for whips. As far as plans for the next couple of weeks, I would like to get more work in on the whips I showed you. I will likely continue working on Spooky Halloween, the Lakeside Needlework piece through Monday. On Monday, I am going to Stitcher's Hideaway in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, and taking a class from Ellen Chester of With My Needle, and I am so excited about that. And actually, that's something else I've been stitching, and I will film a clip of it and insert it in my next video, but I've been working on the smalls exchange for that. And it's stitched, I just need to assemble it. So I will show it in the next video. Film a little clip before I give it away. So I'm going there Monday and Tuesday. And I will be very excited to meet Ellen and to see some other stitchers and to work on that project. Then after that, we'll see what I work on. Probably a little bit more of the Home for the Holidays sale because I want to get a bigger dent in that. Sampler September is over, and I am generally a sampler stitcher. I mean, I stitch a decent amount of samplers. I barely stitched a sampler in Sampler September. I did not start a sampler. I did not stitch a sampler. So I kind of don't even want to make too many predictions of what I'm going to stitch over the next couple of weeks because I feel like I have been completely inaccurate in what I've been predicting. So I guess we'll see in the next video. Like I said, I will continue with Spooky Halloween for a little bit. I'm going to finish my small, and I would like to work on the Home for the Holidays. So as far as more Halloween stitching, this has really been calling to me. I had talked about this in my Halloween video. It's the Stacy Nash Halloween at Hollyberry Farm. I fell in love with this a little while ago, and I picked it up when I was at Dying to Stitch this summer, and I picked up the fabric too. Ironically enough, it's an R&R fabric, that's Dying to Stitch. That's R&R Reproductions store. The model is an R&R fabric, but the fabric it calls for looked nothing like the picture. So we found a piece of their fabric that looks like the picture. I likely will not stitch it with the called for. I did pull out a Victorian Model white, and probably what I'll do is I will just pull out a combination of DMC and for my overdyes to, match up with the picture while I'm stitching. And I've been doing that a lot. I don't have a huge stash of Gentle Arts and Weeks or sampler threads. I just don't. I do have a large collection of Victoria Mono, and I stash dive. I don't have an LNS that's super close to me where I can just get a few threads, and I hate paying $3 of shipping to get a thread. So that's what I do. And it works for me. There's no rules in stitching. You need to do what works for you. And that's what works for me. And I'm very happy to share with you what colors I use and my conversions and, experiment. There are no rules in stitching, but it needs to be something that you enjoy and you like the look of. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. So that is the end of Whips and Plans. Moving right along, let's talk about I have the Ferris stash. Let me go over my purchases, which aren't very many. I bought a lot this summer because I went to two needlework stores and StitchCon. So I bought a lot this summer, and I really don't need anything right now. And I really have been trying not to buy anything right now. So bought a few Etsy downloads, pattern downloads here or there, and this is it. And I have nothing else right now that's waiting to come in, which is good. So these just came in. I picked these up off of Amazon. I was given a gift card from Amazon for my birthday. So I decided I did not have these. The Halloween magazines are available on CD, and Just Cross Stitch did release 2011 to 2015 recently. This came out probably in the last 6 months. So the Just Cross Stitch ones have the Christmas ornament issue. they do not have the Halloween issues. The Halloween issues are a separate disc. So I got those with a gift card. I had put an order in for fabric from Leslie at Under the Sea Fabrics a while ago, and they just came in. I got some of her fabrics at StitchCon. I really liked them. Sorry for the crinkling. I'm just going to leave them in here, actually, because you can see through the bags pretty well. I got a piece of Christmas at Williamsburg, which is just like a gorgeous brown with like a little bit of red modeling in it. And I got that because I kind of am thinking of doing that as the trick-or-treat on that. And I also got a piece of NYX, which is a dark blue, because I've been talking about doing a couple of blackbirds that have moons, night scenes on a blue. And I thought this would be a nice fabric. So this is almost like, let's look at the bag. This one's almost more like a denim. So this one's a 32 count Belfast. Actually, it's really like denim. Like, see the orange stripe on it. It just looks like almost like jeans. This one's a 32 count Belfast, and the other one's a 40 count. And my only other purchase was Threads Entwined was having a sale. So I picked up a piece of PTP Ren, because I don't know if I've ever stitched on Ren, but I know it's like a really nice neutral. So this is 40 count, so I picked that up. And then I have been eyeing this pattern since it came out at market. Like, I really, really wanted it. I just hadn't picked it up. So because it was on sale, I picked up a Perfect World, and Ren would be the perfect fabric for that. So just, I love this. I saw somebody stitching this at Celebrations of Needlework, and it was just incredible. Like, blow you away in person. And then Georgia Martha. My Boston's going to come out. Georgia Martha. So, Plum Street. And I just love that. I don't have a lot of patriotic stitching, or even like things that we consider summer. But I love this picture, this design of them standing on Mount Vernon. So decided to get that. And once again, Ren would work really well for that. So that will be put to use. And that is it for haul. So fair. Phoebe and I, my 11-year-old daughter and I, entered the Big E, which is the Eastern States Exposition in Springfield, Massachusetts. So Massachusetts doesn't have like a state fair. The Big E is kind of the state fair of New England. And one of my friends had entered the Big E last year and said that I should really do it. So I decided to do it, and my 11-year-old Phoebe, who also stitches, decided she wanted to enter it as well. So we did that, and we went to the fair, the middle weekend of the fair. It was like 2 weeks ago. And I am going to encourage you, like, if you're a needleworker, a crafter, any type of, if you're watching this, you're probably a cross stitcher. But if you quilt, if you knit, if you do crochet, whatever, enter your fairs. The Big E was a big fair, but there's little fairs everywhere. Like, I actually found another little one that's near me that I didn't even know about until a couple of months ago. There are always a ton of quilts at the fairs. There's always a decent amount of knitting. There's not a lot of needlework. And my goal is to enter cross stitch into the fair and encourage others to, because when people go and they see the cross stitch, they might say like, oh, that's not what I had ever thought cross stitch could be, or I used to do that and I enjoyed it. Maybe I should pick it up again. So please think about entering a fairs. Most of the fairs have websites online. You can look now that will give you the generals of what you need to do to enter. The Big E, something needs to be completed in the last 3 years. So coming up for 2020, if you finished it from 2017 on, it can go into the Big E. So keep that in mind. It's not, as long as you fill out the paperwork and just drop off the materials, it's not super hard to enter. It does take a little bit of time to enter the fairs because there is prep work, bringing it out and picking it up. But it was very rewarding for both Phoebe and I. And when I went to pick up the needlework, the people who were doing the pickup at the craft barn said that it was the best needlework display they had had in years, and to please encourage everybody I knew to continue to enter and enter more needlecraft. So this is my plea to you. If you live in New England, enter needlecraft into the Big E next year. So I entered 2 pieces. The first piece I entered, if you've watched my videos for any length of time, you've seen this. It's H is for Henry. This is a piece I made for my nephew for a birth sampler. I showed it finished but not framed. So I framed it myself. Did a pretty good job. The fabric isn't really quite even, so it's the best it's going to be. But I'm happy with it. So his birthday is this weekend, so it will be gifted, so I need to do this video today. So H is for Henry, and I received a red ribbon, second place for that, which I am happy with. The second item I entered, you would have seen if you watched like old videos, because I think I've shown this once as a previous finish. This is Jess Nan Baby Garden, and this is a birth sampler for my middle child, and I actually didn't finish it until last year. So, and I wrote the date at the bottom. I finished it because I didn't want them to see the fact that, she's 13, and it really was just finished. You can see me in the video. So, this was not a pleasure to stitch when I stitched it. There's a lot of fussy stitching in it, but it did come out well, and I received a red ribbon for that as well, and I'm happy with that. So those were my 2 items I entered. Just Nan Baby Garden. That chart I see a lot on the resale sites, and I see you can buy it on eBay. I don't think you can actually buy the chart at a store anymore, but it's pretty available, readily available. And the H is for Henry I bought on an Etsy download. Now, the big winner. I was totally schooled by Phoebe. So Phoebe had stitched a JBW Designs sea turtle. She stitched it on even weave. It was our first time using even weave, and I did nothing as far as helping with this. I washed it because it was really grubby, because an 11-year-old stitched it over the summer and took it with her wherever she was going. And I cut out 1 knot and I framed it. And she even picked out the frame in the mat. So when we saw the results, she was ecstatic and blown away, as was me. This is Phoebe's. Phoebe took home the big prizes. She schooled me. So she got a blue ribbon, a youth ribbon, and she also got best in department for, I think it was 7 to 12-year-olds. And there is an outside donor award that a quilt guild gives to certain departments, and she also won the outside donor award. So I can't even hold it up to show the turtle and all the ribbons because yes, there we go. So Phoebe totally schooled me and I'm very proud of her and she's very happy. I might insert a picture of her face when she saw her ribbons and her prizes. She was very happy. So, and she is looking forward to domination at the fair next year. They have a room there that all the grand champions go in for the crafts, and hers was in the grand champion room. She was a little disturbed when she was looking and she couldn't find it until she realized where it was. And they were very nice and let us go in to take a picture of her standing next to hers. So, all right, just because I'm so proud, one last little show. So she did a great job. So enter your fairs. That is it. Thank you for coming to visit. Have a great stitchy week. I am going to try to come back at the end of next week after my retreat so I can share some pictures and my experiences from the Stitchers Hideaway retreat and the Ellen Chester class. And until then, happy stitching and thanks for coming by to visit. Bye guys.